What's up, Lemonheads? Welcome to another episode of From the Yellow Chair. Today, I'm joined by someone new to me. I got to meet him a couple of months ago. Not even in person yet, but Zoom meetings count today. But I'm excited to be joined by John Deloria. He's the co-founder of ProLine, and as of today, a former roofing company owner. We're celebrating with him today that with over 11 years of experience in the construction and roofing industry, John has built a reputation for innovation and expertise. You're going to want to listen. You're going to want to jump in. So let's sip some lemonade. Perfect. Well, John, welcome to the virtual lemonade stand.
Crystal, thanks for having me.
Absolutely. So I'm honored to have you. I met you through I work with a local roofing company to me called M&M Roofing, and she's been telling me like you've got to meet this guy John. John does great things, and so I got to meet you in person. We did a podcast together, or not in person, but we did that podcast together, and I did learn like we kind of live the same life, and so it's been great getting to kind of know you and your company. But I say this all the time: why should anyone care about what you have to say today on this podcast?
I don't know. I made a lot of mistakes. Hopefully I can help someone avoid the mistakes that I've made. But as of last night, we did sell our roofing business. So hopefully if that's your goal in mind, it wasn't my goal from the very beginning, but I think that everyone should build their business that it's possible to sell. And I think if you want to avoid mistakes and you want to build your business that it runs without you and that you can actually sell, that's probably what a lot of we're going to be talking about today is a lot of those types of things of creating the life that you want for your business and your personal life and everything. That the work-life balance is definitely a big part of who I am.
Well, and listen, that is speaking to so many people right now. So, you do have those diehard people. They're like, I don't really want to sell my business. I'm not here to do that. And so, like you're saying, even though you may not ever sell it, build it like you're going to.
Hmm.
Because I run into contractors very consistently that just because they don't have that 5-year plan or whatever in their mind, they tend to be lax on processes and things like that that really do affect them when it comes times for profitability and things like that. So I think we should always keep our eye on the ball of, if I wanted to sell, I dang near and I could. I'm just choosing, not to at the moment. So I love that. Well, you also had a little bit of a unique career path, right? You came from, if I understand this right, like landscaping, architecture type stuff into the roofing company. So tell us a little bit about your roofing company and like how you got there.
Sure. So I started roofing on a mission trip when I was 13 years old. We were carrying shingles on the roof, and child labor was there, and we were doing it. We were hand driving. And then so throughout my middle school and high school years, I would get hired to, put a roof on somebody's barn or somebody's rental house or something like that. And then I worked for a couple of roofing companies as well. I did go to University of Georgia. The whole time I was there, though, I kept my landscape maintenance company. So I had a maintenance
Oh,
company. I also had two other jobs. I just never stopped working while I was at university. And landscape architecture was just what I thought I wanted to do because it's design. We're doing the maintenance. We should learn the design as well.
yeah.
Um, in hindsight, I think that I should have just kept chewing on that entrepreneurial like thought because I probably would have been a lot further along in my career if I had not gone to university. But it was all part of the journey. I learned a lot of things that I needed to learn for business, and I was an insurance agent, for a couple different companies. Like I said, owned a landscape company, and so at the end of the day, I knew I wanted to help people, and I didn't know what that looked like. And I saw roofing as an opportunity to help people and make a living at the same time. And I don't know where, for the rest of the country, but there's a lot of bad players in the roofing space. So I saw
Mm.
an opportunity to be that true voice of honesty and integrity in my market. I'm from Athens, Georgia, and there was a couple good companies, and I worked for one of them. But by and large, most of the homeowners were not being treated well. And so I wanted to change that. I wanted to change
Yeah.
the way people viewed home services and roofing specifically. And that's really where my passion comes and my journey really started and is today.
Well, good. Well, okay. So I love a good story. So love a good mission trip story. So I'm here for that. A couple of key things that I picked up on is, we can there's always these bad, you know, bad, let's call it owners, because it's not even bad companies. There's like
Sure.
bad leadership somewhere that's encouraging companies, to not to be like so sales driven that they're forgetting to like provide the quality service up front, and then the dollars will come, if you will. So especially when you've seen this big PE push in a lot of our industries. Right now it's all about that bottom dollar. So they're starting to like skimp out on the little fine things and the little extra steps that make the company good, wholesome, and honest. And I see it a lot. And I see it from those smaller companies that are in these PE inundated areas, whether it's roofing, pest control, HVAC plumbers. They're in these markets where PE is just dominating. And one of the things I want to tell them is, man, just lean hard into the brand messaging that you are loyal, dependable, honest, and just take extra steps because PE can't do it. They're not that nimble. They're not that quick. And so it's an easy thing for them to be able to do. Well, I know, speaking of like efficiencies and processes and like how you got, not efficiency and processes, but more how you leaned into being more efficient on this roofing side and doing cool things. You also launched ProLine, or helped launch ProLine, which is the CRM on the roofing side, which is another way I got introduced to you. But I'm a big advocate of having a really healthy CRM, good content in, helps you put good content out. And in marketing, it's all about data and how much you can trust your data that's in your CRM. Because I think that roofing, especially that industry, especially, is kind of behind the curve a little bit.
Mhm.
So HVAC companies are like mining that existing database like there's no tomorrow. But the more roofers that I interact with, I'm like, man, we're really not going back after like following up on leads. And a lot of it stems from not having a good CRM. So tell me, like, how'd you get into that? Have you just fell into that or what?
Yeah, so it kind of goes back to my desire to help the homeowners. So I realized that, and going back to selling your roofing business or your business in general or not. So if you build a business that has all these processes in place and you have a good CRM, yes, it's sellable. But what is also happening at the same time is that your customer base is benefiting from a better experience. So I cared about my homeowners and I wanted to communicate better. So we were using a major roofing specific CRM for almost 5 years. And there's just a lot of, deficiencies, things that they just weren't doing. And it was all surrounded communication, really. Um, and so I just knew that I wasn't capturing the leads on whatever lead source. It was the website form, whatever. I needed an automated text and email to go to a homeowner if they reached out on our website. We were getting
Mhm.
through the sales process. There's all kinds of things that ProLine does between the initial appointment and the proposal itself. Then we get to the proposal, and then I would have too many of them out there, and I wasn't able to follow up with everyone efficiently. So
Yeah.
ProLine does that too. I'm calling from my phone, I'm texting from my phone, and it's a ProLine phone number. And then the automations also help me keep that communication so we're top of mind. So again, I'm thinking as a roofing business owner, I want my customers, my homeowners to have a better experience. Obviously, we want to make more sales, but over and over and over for the past 3.5 years, I've been the guinea pig. My roofing business has been the guinea pig for how ProLine has been built.
Yeah.
And so we got to test all these things to make sure that we're actually using automations well and we're being respectful, but we're also being effective.
Mm.
And so we want to sell more roofs, right? That's what we want to do.
Yeah.
We sell whatever services that we offer. And then finally, we all know Google reviews or just reviews in general are super important. So I wanted another way. ProLine does that directly from the ProLine phone number that I've been calling and texting. Also sends a review request. It's not a company number that comes through that they don't understand who that is. It's John. It's the sales rep they've
Yeah.
been talking to the whole time. Hey, if you had a 5-star experience, click the link. We'd love to hear your feedback. So that's ProLine in a nutshell. There's a whole lot more, but it's all surrounded by the fact that I want to help contractors, yes, but I want to empower contractors to give their homeowners a better experience and actually do the things that they say they're going to do, which is communicate from the very beginning all the way to the very end.
Yeah, and let me tell you, like, so there's nothing more impactful to your marketing than having the ability to set things up in an automated way and thinking about with the customer in mind. So, lemon seed, I say, you need to lead brand forward. So, how do you want your customer experience to be with your company? And so, you want there to be ease, you want there to be comfort, you want there to be no way that they get lost in the process. And so, when you have those automation tools and you have those good CRMs, like on your side, it just makes it makes it easier for people to do business. I have to tell people all the time, it is so hard to do business with you. It has been made like just the way their processes are set up or whatever. And then also like don't forget that people are busy. So
Yep.
when people are busy, what happens is they don't like, who did I call? What did they say? Was I supposed to sign something? And so those text automations and things like that really are impactful to helping close that loop of the customer interaction and the customer journey with all those pieces. And so it really has been um, a learning spin for me. This more and more I've worked in this industry to understand the importance of a good, customer relationship management software. So what do you think some of the mistakes are that people make? Like now you've got, tons of people on ProLine. What do you think? Do you think they're not maybe using it to its full capabilities? What do you think is hindering people from really utilizing their resources there?
So in general, it doesn't really have to be ProLine, but any software, there's no silver bullet. There's
Amen.
people know of Company Cam throughout the industries. It's a really great
Yes.
tool, but if you don't use it, it doesn't really help you or it doesn't help your customer.
Right.
Same with ProLine. I mean, or any other CRM. If you think that you're going to buy something and pay for a subscription and it's going to solve your problems, it's just not true.
No.
This is the foundation. It should be the foundation for how your team operates and communicates. And it should be the tool and the platform how your company communicates to potential homeowners or existing customers in general. And you need to have that mindset that it should help your company and it should help your customers, whatever tool it is. So you need to invest time learning about that system. We make it really easy at ProLine. If you go through our process and you have committed to doing this for 2 or 3 weeks, and your whole team is on, we do 3 different onboarding calls. We offer third parties to help customize your ProLine. This is with any CRM. You need to invest in this platform, whatever it is. And if you do that and you get past the first month and your team has adopted it, it will help your team and it will help your customers as long as you
Absolutely.
you put the effort in. You put the effort in. We don't really have anyone leave ProLine if they do that for the first 30 days because they've invested their time, effort, energy in making sure that their company runs well, their team is communicated with, and their customer base has a way better experience. It was one of my favorite things in the world when a new customer, and I'm not on the sales team at ProLine, but a lot of contractors know who I am and they'll message me and it'll be like a week after they signed up. And I had no idea, but they'll send me a message of like, this is amazing. My customers, and it'll be like a screenshot of a signed contract and the customer's super happy. Or maybe it's a couple weeks down the road and there's a 5-star review and like, I can't get reviews and now I can. Like, that's what drives me to spread the ProLine love because I believe in what we're doing and it's actually helping contractors and homeowners all at the same time.
Mm. Well, and I'm going to tell you too, again, I see it so much to where they blame the CRM. The contractors blame the CRM. Well, I was onboarded terribly. Well, odds are you didn't allocate the right amount of time. You didn't allocate like all of your resources. And when I say that, like it's a commitment, right? Like you go from dating to full on marriage. Like you got to work on it. And the more you work on it and you spend time to learn it yourself. And so that's why, like, sometimes I'll be like, hey, contractor, you ain't it. Like, you need to hire a facilitator or you need to
Mhm.
point someone on your company to become the CRM liaison because we need to work hard to have um, connections with our team and the software itself. So how do we make the most out of this software system and not overwhelm people, all while protecting our customers' journey and our brand expectations that we have. So, we want everyone's journey through that to be good. And again, to tie that back to marketing, like garbage in, garbage out, like we need to be able to make decisions on whether we keep or whether we stop, pause, keep, push more money into different advertising tactics. And to do that, we've got to have visibility into what are customers responding to, when are they responding to it, are they engaging with things? And so you really need, I mean, one of the things at Lemon Seed, we can't even take you if you're not on a CRM. And a CRM is not QuickBooks, right? Like that's not a CRM, right? People say, well, I just keep it in Google Calendar. Absolutely not. Because you're sitting on a gold mine, right? Of so much. And then I don't care how good of a salesman you are, you're not closing every deal.
No,
And so
and
there's
you
all
shouldn't.
these
If
people
you
that
are closing, if you have a basically in the roofing space, it's between 33, so 1 out of 3, or
mhm,
maybe in the 45% close rate. So you're not quite selling 1 out of 2. If you're selling more than that, then your prices are too low. And then your profitability is not where it should be for your market. So I totally agree. You need to understand all those numbers in your CRM, and they need to be honest. They need to be like real. Oh, I'm my close rate's X. Well, is it? Where's the data that backs that up? Like how many leads have you gone through this month, and how many sales have you made? And I couldn't agree more. Knowing your numbers is a huge part of what any good CRM should be doing for you.
yes, for sure. Um, I think that we just we have expectations that people cannot hit. And when I say that, it's not that they can't do it for any other reason other than just lack of trying. So I lean into a lot of that a lot of times. Like there's so much content there of like how you have to do this. So it sounds like ProLines are really like a game changer. So I think it's a great way for roofing companies to really get in line with a CRM that truly comes from the trades itself. Like you guys come from it, so you know what's needed. And so I think that's a great place for us to, when you focus on solving like real solutions, you really can create tools that empower people to thrive. And so it's an experience that I think people all need to go through. And so tell me a little bit about Ruth Vana.
Yeah, so Roofana, it evolved. It had many names. For the most of its life, it was it was DeLaurier Roofing. That's hard to say. That's hard to spell. To I genuinely believe that what you guys do, understanding the holistic approach to home services, is the way that marketing companies should operate, not just the marketing piece. And so I've told many people that you guys actually are different than what I've seen for most marketing companies. There's some good ones out there, but for the most part, they're just focused on marketing. And if you
Yeah.
don't understand the sales part, if you're not in somebody's CRM, you can't actually give good recommendations for the marketing piece.
Yeah.
So in general, I just kudos to you guys for that, because that's a huge, huge, huge accomplishment to get people to understand, hey, this is what's important. It's not just the marketing piece. I want to be on your team. I think that's, again, that didn't answer your question, but that's what the tangent I just went on. I really think that that's important, is that you need to understand the whole part of the business to be able to market correctly.
Well, so Lemon Seed, like you're saying, thank you so much. Number one, Lemon Seed was built on the fact that I'm not a digital agency. I'm not a mass media or direct mail agency. Like my job is to be like a fractional chief marketing officer for people that are like, hey, I'm tired of not knowing what's going on. Like, help me build my brand. We want to help you build your brand. I'm not trying to make these other vendors rich. I want to help you grow your company. And Ruth Vana, like to speak on branding a little bit there, the company that I have some part in is M&M Roofing, based in
Mhm.
Lufkin, Texas. Emily May. So my partner at Lemon Seeds also name is Emily, and then my partner at M&M Roofing, her name's Emily. So all the Emily's in my life are very though entrepreneurially driven,
Yes.
and they think outside the box and they want to be successful in their own right. Like my Emily on the lemon seed side, she's a fantastic graphic designer. She's passionate about it and about branding these home service companies. And so she played a really big part in our vision for the Rufus armadillo mascot that we created for Emily for M&M Roofing. And it really, I feel like it launched her business. She just flew right into the mix with these companies that had been around a long time.
Hmm.
And we just expedited her brand awareness. But she had to buy in. She had to agree to like jump in with the both feet on, not being scared. Homegirl's not scared of anything.
No, Emily's
She's
amazing. Yeah.
very,
She's
yeah,
very, very, very smart, very, like you said, innovative and already just ready to go all the way
yeah,
in.
yeah, and, like, when by the time she's told me about it, I'm already 2 days behind. So, like, I'm trying to keep up with her, so but I'm telling you, like and I just got off of a call before this podcast where I had this company that was, like, really debating rebranding their company, and I said, "Listen, I'm not lying to you here that I think it's not an investment. It's definitely an investment, but I think you're gonna look up in 5 years from now and be like, 'Dang, I should have done this 5 years ago.'"
Yep.
And so trust me, I'm going to tell you 80% of people that if you started your company and some random graphic designer made you a logo and you're calling that your brand, you don't have a brand.
That's right.
Or we need to help you create a brand. And so, I can get really passionate about that. And
I love it
so
though.
I
I
know,
love it because that's a
well,
mistake. As the beginning of the podcast, I talked about my mistakes. That would be one of the biggest mistakes that I made is not focusing so much on my brand, not just the logo, so many parts of the brand. I mean, we developed a great relationship with all of our customers and they wrote a bunch of reviews for us. That was good. We had a good reputation, but nothing about our logo and our name was memorable. It was not unique. It was the same color palette. It was part of in the roofing space called the Triangle Club. So it had some home roof on the logo somewhere.
some roof line.
Yeah. So literally people would say for years, "Oh, who are you again?" And
Mm,
that's not what you want. You want to work with somebody who understands. I mean, Rufus is great. M&M, you take M&M Roofing, you could take M&M Roofing, that name, and put it in a million other states. But if you have Rufus on top of that, along with the color palette and the way that Emily is actually marketing that to that market, it's so much different. It is phenomenal because she's been in my mastermind for probably a year now, and I've watched it grow. And it's just like, you're doing what now? You're doing what now? And it's all
mhm.
because, again, your brand and your marketing's not a silver bullet, but it should be a good foundation for who you want to how you want to communicate to your potential customer base. And you need to be unique and memorable and probably have a mascot. We haven't really touched on this that much, but uh, all of our potential customers, our ideal customers, they have a much higher expectation for their home services now. It can be HVAC,
Mhm.
it can be anything at all. Roofing doesn't matter. They are expecting automations. They're expecting an amazing brand. They are expecting wrapped trucks. They're expecting polo shirts and super professional people. They're expecting all those things. And if you don't think that they are, you're going to get left. It won't take that long. In the next 3 to 5 years, you won't be around or you won't be as profitable as you could be. You really need to understand that if you're banging your head against the wall on maybe a sales close rate or maybe accounts receivable, reviews, all those things, it's because you haven't stepped up to the plate with the expectations that homeowners really have for the home services that you offer.
1000%. And this goes without saying, like, things are going to pop into your head, but, we all know those companies that, I mean, I'm in my 40s. So, I mean, when I was growing up, there were tons of companies around that are not around now
Hmm.
because they failed to innovate, because they dug their heels in that, I've been this way and word of mouth. And listen, if you're
Yep.
saying things like word of mouth is all I need and all my business is from referral, it is, but look how it could be, but look how good your business could be if you actually worked on new customer acquisition, if you actually built a brand. Like, that's great. What got you here won't get you there. So eventually you're going to hit a brick wall where you've used everybody that knows you. And now you've got to move past that to really grow your company. And so when you think back to those of us that, to our younger years, there were tons of companies that just failed to innovate. They failed to think like people don't want to deal with paper invoices. People don't want to have to just call you. I have two opinions. I think people want the ease of booking online, but if I have an issue, I need to be able to call.
Sure.
And so I think that that's a healthy way to look at things like, can I book online from your website? Is there a direct link from your social media channels? Do I know who you are by just interacting with your brand throughout the day? And so many people on the marketing funnel, they focus on the very tip of the funnel, the very bottom where there's the least amount of people. All the meanwhile at the top, there's all this opportunity to just be making waves with these people so that when they do need your service, you are top of mind to them. But if you never stay up there, if you never venture to the top of the funnel, then when people get to the bottom, all those people that worked hard at the top, they're going to be who gets chosen. And it's just hard to tell people those things because you got to innovate. You got to change what you've done for 20 years a lot of times, or at least modernize it. And it can be daunting a little bit, but you eat a cookie and an elephant the same way, one bite at a time. So just start making simple changes to your business that make you more innovative, make you more modern, and it really does change everything. I was talking to a roofing client the other day, and he said, yeah, he said, well, I hardly even have to go out to the home anymore. I can just pull it up on Google, look at the layout of the roof, look at the square footage, and be able to give a quote pretty instantly. And he said, I have gained so many I have closed so many more deals because I can do that.
Hmm.
Well, of course, I can hear all the naysayers in the background, like, what if you miss something, blah, 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 blah. And at the end of the day, I'm like, so he might cost himself a little bit of money here and there, but it's probably negligible in the amount of people just like the quickness. People
Yeah.
like the immediacy.
So since 2019, our business was selling online, and we had a lot of naysayers. Like, how are you doing this? And we had all different measurement tools. Had proposal tools and things like that. To your point, there's naysayers of, oh, you can miss in roofing. There's two things really: multiple layers of shingles and then rotten decking. So those are two change orders that we commonly have. Well, if you put that in your contract, for again, this is now we just sold the business, but more than 5 years, homeowners never complained that we had a change order because of those two things. It was very clear. We verbalized it and we had it in writing in multiple places. These are two ways it changes. This is the price per square foot. If this happens, this is the price per square foot. If you just communicate, again, to your point, they want the simplicity. We sold so many roofs that way. We had some of the
They
best.
want the
Yeah.
Yeah, they want the simplicity and they want the immediacy. So they're already pissed off. Okay, listen, no one wakes up and goes, you know what I want to spend money on today? A new roof.
Yep.
People want to go on a cruise. They want to buy a car. They
Yep.
want to go on a vacation. They do not want to buy a new condenser, a new water heater. They really don't want, at least landscaping, y'all can look pretty.
Yeah.
Pest control, nobody's excited to spend money on termite abatement, right? So, no, we do not get that luxury. But what they do appreciate is the speed and accuracy and setting the expectations clearly. That all goes back to that customer journey that we talked about earlier. Setting expectations. I see people all the time, they build a whole process around one outlier. So the one person out of the 50 things that happen, the one you cannot build your life around the one person that's going to complain or find a loophole. Like, cut your losses and move on from those complainers. But definitely for sure, like, man, don't skip out on good stuff and selling stuff because you get so down in the weeds.
Yep. And I love what
So
you said about making it easy. So if they want to
yeah.
call you, fine. They should be able to call you, set up an appointment. But you should. I call them mental hurdles. So you want to take all these hurdles that people have to jump through to get to your service, and I complain about this a lot about payment. Make it easy for
Mhm.
people to pay you too. But as far as the first part of the process, the sales process, the getting to know you part of the process, take away all those barriers. The mental hurdles need to go away so people can just stroll on in. They get the services that they need, probably don't want, but they need those services. They want them as soon as possible. They want it to be easy, clear. There's excellent communication. You need to do that. Your website is a good place to start with that. It doesn't have to be just your website, but you need to make it easy for homeowners to not just find you and be top of that funnel, like you said, but also once they find you and they know who you are, it's super easy and just a phenomenal experience when they want to move forward with some services.
Well, I'm telling you, this is like gets right in my headspace here because um, Limited spends a lot of time of helping people understand the full impact of the customer journey. And when you're not in it, and when you don't care about it, and you're only focused on one or the other, so some people can lean hard the other way, like they forget about their team and they lean real heavy on the customer, and then vice versa. But one of the best things I had was this guy was like, "Man, we're just not getting any leads," and I was like, "Well, I can see leads coming in," and I said, "He goes, well, yeah, they're coming in between 11 and 1, and I let my team go to lunch." So I was like, for 2 hours, sir, for 2 hours in the middle of the day, you don't answer the phone. Well, what do you want me to do about my team not having lunch? I was like, can they do it in shifts? Like, can we?
Yeah,
But
that's
to
an
him,
easy one.
he was like, he was just bumfuzzled over the idea that why would anyone think they would answer the phone? And I was like, sir, no one takes 2 hour lunches.
Even
And
if
then
it's
you
30
run
minutes.
home.
Yeah, I mean, if you get down to we won't, there's a whole other podcast about acquisition cost, but
Yeah,
it costs a lot of money for you to acquire a customer. If you don't think that's true, you're not doing your numbers correctly. So just a
correct.
real easy thing. I love the going to lunch and shifts. Just pay $250, $300 a month to have an answering service. We use Ruby Receptionist. They were amazing. They know your company's name. They know how to schedule appointments. It's gonna be another extension of your team. And if you don't want to, send your staff in shifts and they want to all go eat together, fine. Forward it to Ruby. They answer the phone. It's super affordable, and your customer still has a good experience reaching out to your company.
Yes, yes. Ruby Receptionist is a great one. And there, again, it's about not building processes around outlying things. Like really get focused on those things. Well, John, this is the last question that I ask everybody else. You've been here, you've been in the boat where many contractors, many listeners are. What is the one thing that you would tell somebody that's a brand new owner, just starting to get going? What is the one thing like maybe you wish you would have done different, or just a good piece of advice?
Oh, there's so many. I just did 5 the other day, and I was like, that's not even enough. Most people that start businesses like this are kind of forced into it. I was one of those people. So, people, old employer owed me money. I had to do something to provide for my family.
Mm,
Even if that happens and you're forced into it, or it's not part of your life plan, you really need to think about brand. I go back to that again of you need to be unique. You need to be different. You do not need to be, I mean, in our markets, blue and white or red and
mm,
black. Like you
mm.
can't, you've got to be different. You also have to not think for yourself. Don't think
Mm.
about yourself as a customer. Think about your ideal customer.
Oh,
If you're,
yes.
if you're just starting out, you probably don't have the $1 million house. Whatever your ideal customer looks like, you need to base your entire brand on that market and your ideal customer for that market. Because that's where the 80-20 rule really matters. The 20% of your customer base is going to make you the most money, get you the most referrals, get you the most 5-star reviews. You need to focus on the ideal customers. So I'd say I wish that I had done that. I wish I had really focused on my brand. I really wish that I had taken time to, I mean, literally just typed it out. DeLaurier Roofing, Triangle Club, blue logo, white background. That was it. That's just, you can't do that. You've got to
No.
think. You got to think about it way deeper than that. You don't have to write all your mission statement down and all that stuff. You need to think about who is your ideal customer in the most ideal situation, whatever service you offer, who's your ideal customer, and what brand are they looking to do business with. That's
Well,
what
and the
I'd
best
say.
thing, another great thing you said, thank you for that. And the best thing, another good highlight there is, odds are you need to, a lot of my contractors are not their own target market.
That's right.
So therefore,
Me.
you have to know that. You
Yes.
have to know that because what you like and what you're exposed to is not the same. One of my HVAC contractors, one time I was like, hey, let's give away a big TV online for the, like, around the Super Bowl. And they're like, people don't just go out and buy their own TVs. I'm like, no, the average American needs to like spend some time. I'd love to win an 80-inch TV. You, sir, have expendable income. And so I know that we're still going after that customer, but at the end of the day, who doesn't want to win a free TV by engaging? So get out of the way, get out of the way. So, but no, I love that. Thank you so much. So, Hey, real quick, if anybody wanted to know more information about ProLine or talk to you about Ruth Vaughn or anything like that, what's the best way for them to get in touch with you?
Yeah, so use proline.com is the easiest way. You find us on the website, but I'm all over social media. Changing all my handles to the Proline guy. So you'll find me
Oh,
Proline guy all over Facebook, Instagram, all that stuff. But use proline.com is the easiest way to check us out. We have a free version of the CRM. You can just check it out for free today, and there's no kind of trial. You just sign up and you're good to go. So we make it easy. We want to make sure that Proline's a good fit for your company, and
perfect.
we don't want to just sell a software and send you on your way. We want you to be successful.
Great. And then, of course, you guys all know that are listening now from the Yellow Chair, sponsored by Lemon Seed Marketing. And Lemon Seed is here to help with all that branding stuff that John was mentioning today, along with organizing all of your media approaches to gaining new customer acquisition and cultivating the customers that you already have in your database. So, guys, thank you so much. John, you were amazing. Congratulations again. And wishing you the best of luck with ProLine. I know that's going to continue to just be a great program. So, guys, thank you so much for listening to another episode of From the Yellow Chair. If you enjoyed it, I'd love to have a review, share stuff on social media for us, and just help us grow our following. So, thanks for sipping lemonade with us. We'll see you next time.